There are stories that not only impact us, they also change the way we see life, animals, and survival. In 2009, an ordinary woman experienced something that no one should ever have to go through. An encounter with a chimpanzee that ended in one of the most brutal attacks ever recorded against a human being. But this is not just a horror story. It is also a story of extreme survival, modern medicine, and human resilience. This is the true story of Charla Nash. Charla Nash, in 2009, Charla Nash was invited to a house in the United States where a chimpanzee named Travis lived. Travis was not a wild animal in the jungle, but a chimpanzee raised as a pet for many years. He was used to humans, to clothing, to sharing food, and even to behaving in a social way. But despite that, he was still a wild animal with incredible strength. That day, something changed in his behavior. No one expected what was about to happen. Suddenly, Travis entered a state of extreme aggression. Without warning, he attacked Charla Nash with uncontrollable violence. The chimpanzee was far stronger than an adult human, with a bite force capable of breaking bones and tearing tissue with ease. The attack was brutal and prolonged. Charla tried to defend herself, but the difference in strength was overwhelming. For several minutes, the situation was completely chaotic. Screams alerted the neighbors, but the damage was already happening. The chimpanzee caused devastating injuries to her face and hands, leaving her in critical condition. When emergency services finally managed to intervene, the scene was extremely severe. Charla Nash had lost much of her face, and both of her hands had been mutilated. She was alive, but in critical condition. She was rushed to the hospital, where doctors began a race against time. At the hospital, doctors faced one of the most complex cases of their careers. The extent of the injuries, the risk of infection, and the loss of tissue were extreme. For days, her life remained in constant danger. But Charla Nash did not die. She survived the initial attack, which was already a medical miracle considering the severity of her injuries. Years later, Charla Nash became one of the few people in the world to receive a full face transplant. This procedure is extremely complex and involves reconstructing the face using donor tissue. The surgery lasted for hours and required a highly specialized medical team. It was one of the most important advances in the history of reconstructive surgery. Charla Nash's life changed forever. Although she survived, she had to adapt to a new physical and emotional reality. Her story became a global symbol of human resilience. But it also sparked an important debate about wild animals as pets. Chimpanzees, although they may seem harmless when young, are extremely strong and unpredictable as adults. The case of Charla Nash is not only a survival story, it is also a warning about the limits of domesticating wild animals, and at the same time, a testament to the human ability to survive even the most extreme situations. What made Charla Nash's case so shocking was not only the attack, it was what happened afterward. After surviving, Charla went through such a complex medical process that for years her case became one of the most studied examples of modern facial reconstruction. But there is one detail that very few people mention. Before the attack, Travis was seen by many people as a friendly chimpanzee who was used to living around humans. He appeared in everyday activities and displayed behaviors that made people believe he was completely adapted. That contrast is what made the case so impactful internationally. Experts later explained that adult chimpanzees retain physical abilities and natural behaviors that are very different from those of humans, even after living with people for many years. The case sparked a worldwide debate around an uncomfortable question. Can a wild animal ever truly stop being wild? And that question continues to generate discussion to this day. Closing line for your narration. Some stories remind us of something difficult to accept, that closeness does not always mean control, and that even what feels familiar may still belong to nature.